So now we have the meat of what I came here for, and that is to get one of our updates from Josh and Melanie. There's so much going on and so much that we're thankful for them, and I'd love to give them the chance to talk about it. You have that Lawrence Relk music? There we go.
I just love Learn and Grow at Christmas time. The room is so beautiful. I'm so excited for you guys. How many people have been across the street to see our Vintner Wonderland across the street? That's only half the room. So please make sure we have to be out of this room. We're ending at a hard 3:00, I believe. There's actually an awesome holiday party happening in here this afternoon. So we're going to spend the rest of the afternoon across the street and make sure you guys see everything. Guests will be ice skating. You are welcome to ice skate. We want you to be part of it. So what we're excited to do, we're switching up just a tiny bit. I want to give you, so many of you are new, and I've started meeting people that have joined us for the very first time. They might hear little snippets about who Josh and I are or why we're doing this. You might have heard that we have 10 children, and then you think, how do they do all of that? And we talked about superpowers just now. It's a lot of passion. And I said this to our group. If I didn't have passion for both of those things, if we didn't know that we were called to do these and this is our life's work, obviously it would be too heavy of a burden to do either one of those. But we know that, and we're happy to carry the burden, and we want to carry the burden because we know how much of an impact this has. And the biggest why of what we do, why we do what we do, is to revive souls. That is our name. So our Viva May hospitality means to revive souls. And that is done through culture. And Josh and I had this beautiful opportunity. Are you starting to?
Well, what you don't know is I led up to that in a different way than maybe you knew.
He changed the slides on me. So, right. Here we go.
Ready for that teaser. First things first. Sometimes when we were a little smaller group and we're getting bigger and bigger, we used to do a nice thing around the tables after Bob would inspire us. We'd get by the way, what Bob did today, I want to just thank him very much. Round of applause, please. What he did for us is put us in a space, create a place and an openness for all of us to learn from today, from each other. And I think he did a couple different interesting things there. Just want to point it out. He helped us meet strangers that are now, we know we're part of their community. And one of the key things here, Bob and I dreamed it up early on, was he came and invested right away, which was awesome. And he brought so many new things to me through the Tony Robbins experiences of, let's call it appreciative inquiry, getting great information out of each other and building community, to the point where early on we used to do these types of events just to give good old-fashioned updates and tell people we're still taking investors. But it's completely not just that anymore. Thanks to Bob and Usha, we really want this to be a surprise bonus value to you, is that you're now part of a big community that shares the burdens that you have, whether it be family, legacy, or whatever. But one of the quick updates, we want to talk about how today, this first talk is an introduction to half of the room we don't know yet. So we're gonna step back to go fast forward, okay? Recently, Bob Bolin and I went to the Alternative Asset Summit. And this is a step back before we get to the exciting part about the secret sauce. And the secret sauce, Melanie's going to reveal it today. How to make great returns for real estate type investors like you and I using this powerful engine that we've been working on for years now. But we shared that a little bit at that event. And we broke it down, Bob and I. This is a very brief overview of a major event we just spoke at. It was well received. Bob even said it was good, and he's a tough critic back there, Bob Bull. So what we were asked to do is talk about alternative investing and why ours is even more curious than they might have perceived at first, right? Because we spoke at this conference, it had people from oil, it had people from all kinds of different infrastructure, multifamily, blah, 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 blah. But they're like, well, what's curious about what you do? Is it just that you buy hotels? No, it's not really just that we buy hotels with you guys and together. It's really that we overlay Main Street business operations on top of real estate in a robust way. And now Melanie is about to share the real engine, the Viva May engine, but But we started with a physical project, and that's what Bob Wells was mentioning. There'll be a little here and there before and afters. I know Terry's going to show a reel whenever it's a break during lunch. You'll actually get to see what the property looked like. Melanie gave a tour to a design team, and that's all captured on video. So you're actually going to see before we did anything, we have that video running throughout the day today. But it got ugly here before it got pretty. But here is, in the 5 minutes, how to understand how much value is being created here and how we do it. Here, it's more about the business side of it, and then we're going to teach the secret sauce. But really what's going on here is 3 simple things that if you understand them, you'll see why we've been able to dramatically change the valuation of this asset, increase the profitability for you and for all of us, and really create a whole new experience. This property, we'll give you stats on it later. What we're doing is we're looking at the properties as a platform to create numerous revenue streams. Instead of what normal hospitality does, or what maybe even normal land development does, they tend to go down a vertical. Whether it be multifamily, the business is just the rental of rooms. In hospitality, it's typically 90% focused on the rooms, just like multifamily. Here, we've been able to reorient that, and that's why so much growth has happened so quickly. Rooms are awesome. We don't have enough of them. So we focused heavily on guaranteeing profitability. So we're going to explain that. And we did that through contracts. So if you want to boil down, what is all this about? Why are so many people investing with us? It's because they're seeing that together over the portfolio, we have 1,000 acres. We all are major real estate owners, and we all love real estate. It comes with all those tax strategies. It comes with inflation hedge, all that great stuff. But really, the secret of the revenue is it's all on contract. Even more powerful than the contracts of a multifamily, multi-year lease, because we get most of it up front. So this is just the nuts and bolts of why this machine is working well, right? We're about to tell you the heart of why it's working well. But the machine is working well because when we sell our contractual revenue, with which most of our revenue that you saw last night was contracts, even though you might have seen there were over 1,200 people here last night. I just pulled the report on covers. Covers are the number of people that come and eat something with you, whether it be out of the food truck or in the restaurant. So 1,200 people were here, and that's not counting the wedding that was 200 people. So yes, it's actually 1,400 people were here yet, sure. We're in that, I think we're in that number. No, you're right, we aren't in that number, so slightly more. But my point is, the good portion of that was either tickets sold online for the event last night or wedding. And then, I don't know if you noticed, I tried to give a tour to Phil Boja's family. We couldn't get in any rooms. Wanted to go in the speakeasy. It was booked by a business. We wanted to go out, outside the speakeasy called Four Seasons. That was booked by another business. And we wanted to go into the Glass Museum and the corridors. Those were all booked by a different business family, actually. All contracted ahead of time. So this is really the secret, economic engine that's going on here. And then the best part of this business, and this is about perception, is we look at it as a whole bunch of flywheels. And this is what a flywheel looks like. This is a Jim Collins concept. Now, Melanie and I are going to give you the secret sauce of all of this is called BMA, but if you just want to be cold hard, what actually happens here? Somebody books a wedding. Weddings are the main driver, but you'll be surprised to hear that it's not even 50% of the total revenue is weddings. You'd be like, oh, I thought it was 80, 90, 100% of the wedding. No, it's actually it's a beginning of a massive flywheel. It's a very important part, but what it does is it does this. It gets us the peace of mind that next year's budget is mostly contractually obliged. Now, 50%, you could say, but 50% will then grow with ancillary sales later. So the same family will now add on 3 more things, but not until next year. Then, this is the secret. And I remember thinking this through when we first were buying Renell. I'm like, wait a second. For every bride that we make a sales contract for, she's going to introduce this beautiful legacy, this type of hospitality based on love, to about 150 to 300 of her closest affluent friends, pretty much. Because we live in a premium price point, pretty much the entire wedding community is really affluent, right? Meaning because they're bringing their relatives are coming down from Manhattan or DC or flying in from the West Coast, and they're coming here, and they're all becoming immersed in this beauty. And then they're going to be becoming our guests. So about 180,000 people this year will walk through this property, which was once bankrupt just a few years ago and in complete disrepair. And it's this flywheel. Now, the flywheels don't stop with weddings. We think of, and I was sharing this with Fred. One of the other things that really separates the way Melanie and I are trying to build this portfolio is we're really thinking of it as a promotions company. So not only are we a sales-based company, but we're a promotions activations company. So instead of just hoping people show up to go to the bar or hoping people come to the vintner, we are like constantly selling tickets to everything. What this is one of my favorite hacks. We have about 20 or 30 concepts that we pre-advanced sell to families at $35, $10. No, I think the cheapest is probably $35, up to hundreds of dollars to come to events beforehand, ticket at a time. Bring your spouse, bring a family, bring a group, girls, friends groups. This is one that does really well, and it's just races. I wish we did more of them, but we do them seasonally, each quarterly. But they'll bring like 300 people that never heard of us. They'll get a little bit of money from them, and now they're here, and they're now 300 more people eating at the restaurant that day.
We have a reindeer run coming up.
We have a reindeer. Yeah, I love this. But it's last night, when you might not have noticed, there was a whole wreath making ticketed event going on. There was a cookies decorating with your children. So you had families doing that. We had a movie going on. And then, of course, so many other activations. So those flywheels are the three secrets that are taking Main Street strategies, overlaying them on massive real estate investment opportunities. And this is basically how we're able to generate such great returns, is that three-step process. But that doesn't tell you the heart of what we're doing. So Melanie and I thought, not all of you know this. Half the room is brand new to us. We're going to share the secret sauce. And the secret sauce is a dogged determination that we are, not only do we understand that we have a good business model that creates flywheels on top of flywheels, that creates consistent revenue, contract revenue. That's awesome. That's how we're producing the returns. But we actually think we're going to make a dent in the world. In our little way, we're going to bring a type of hospitality. In some ways, you could call it Southern hospitality. You could call it old-fashioned hospitality. We call it love. And I remember when I first gave a training about 12, 13 years ago when I was a partner at Icona Resorts, and we were building that business, and I started saying, we're here to just love people. And I remember I'm trying to tell the bartenders, our goal is that when they are here, and we've really been working on this at this company, is that we really don't want them to leave unless they felt something. And really what that is supposed to be felt like they were treated well, loved. And so this is our training. Melanie is about to share with you our training.
So as you know, culture just happens, right? Whether you're trying to build it or not trying to build it, it's going to happen. And if you're not trying to make it what you want it to be in terms of positive, loving, and all these great qualities that we're going to go through, it'll usually play itself out the other direction. So we're so intentional about Viva May culture, and in even inviting anybody into our team, we go through all of this and say, if these things are exciting to you, you're going to love working here, because we're all working for these. None of these do we believe that we're perfect at, because they're all lofty goals that we're always trying to achieve. But we're all here because we believe that we want all go in this direction and that this is making a difference. Wherever Viva May is planted, we have seen firsthand the positive, incredible impact it has on our team, on the community. Am I doing okay? All right. So this is an example I'm going to go through you. And by the way, just like was mentioned last night, Josh and I this fall had this incredible experience. We met two incredible leaders of corporations, Hobby Lobby, David Green. We also met the Kathy family that owns Chick-fil-A. And we were blown away with them. They said that so many of the same things that we were saying, and we were just confirmed and just like solidified in this mission that we know that we're called to, is creating this hospitality culture that's completely different, more intentional about the culture and the service and the love. And even they said, the Kathy said, it's just chicken. It's just chicken. It's all about the culture. And so that was just so affirming for us. But I feel, and we both walked away from both those experiences saying, between retail and chicken, they're doing a fantastic job. But in hospitality, we can take it further. And that's what I'm going to describe for you. What I'm about to show you, what this presentation is. Go ahead, you can turn it on.
Yeah. So
what this presentation is a typical culture training that we do every other week. It's a 1 hour long. We bring everybody in and we go through this. So I'm going to go through it with you. This is one that we did in the fall. And the reason I'm showing this one is because there's a really great piece in the middle that we showed to our team. We're working with a new marketing group, and I wanted to show to the team exactly what we're showing them. So I'm going to go through this. So the first thing we do,
maybe
go ahead.
can I just add to it? So Melanie has a drawing she's going to do. She's
We're gonna do that at the
pretty.
end.
I know, but you're a pretty great artist, so don't worry. It's exciting.
Oh,
But these are the 4 parts of the training: the who, the why, the what, and the what's next. That's our structural paradigm each week: who, why, what, what's next. Now, we always start with the who. Now, do you want to do this?
yeah. So the who is, we go around everybody in the whole room. We have the chairs lined up. It's usually right in this room. And you have to stand up. You say your name, what position you are on the team. Fun little question, something cute on there, and says, we can count on you. So I would stand up and say, hello, my name is Melanie. I'm on the creative and design team. You can always count on me. And my favorite fall activity is raking leaves.
Yeah, and the
And
point.
we'll give a clap. Goes,
I love raking leaves. That's your favorite
I make
fall
the kids rake leaves. And such.
Well,
So, baking pies.
I like the idea.
It just came to mind. Sorry.
The reason we asked the question is we're trying to get them to create cognitive dissonance. Either they're going to lie to us and say, you can count on me, knowing they hate us. And, the body will eventually quit, right? Because we want to create a choice. They have to say, can we count on you or not? And I know a lot of times it is lip service, but we're actually causing them to challenge them.
He is wrong. It's honest and it's good. And everybody's answers are so funny. And so then we say,
guess what? We're part of a big community.
Right. Besides us in the room right here at Renault, we also, the who is our friends down at Kent, our people down at LBI, and of course, Bohemian Manor, which many of you here are investors in all 4 or some 2 or 3 of those. So we count everybody. So that's our who. We go through that. And then we go to our...
And we say who is more important than anything. And we learned that from building pretty properties at other resort businesses and failing to execute. If we fail at the table, if we fail in the rooms, doesn't matter how pretty the room was. So it's really us. And it's the way we treat the guests. We'll actually overcome fail points, and it'll actually create fail points no matter what. So it's always going to be who.
So as you all know, especially if you're business owners, it's so important for the team to know why we're here and where we're going. And so this really digs into the culture, and we go through it every single week. So if you ask any of our team members, say, what are your 3 virtues? Why are you here? What does Viva May mean? Because of the training, everybody should be able to answer that. So we go through it. Why does Viva May exist? To revive the soul.
Revive the soul. The whole team says it.
We all chant it together.
And that's actually where our name came from.
That's right. So we chose 2 French words, and inspired by Louis Renault, who founded this place 160 years ago, came from Champagne, France. We modified the words because we wanted our name to be our mission. So Revive the Soul is Viva May Hospitality.
But then this is the big training Melanie did this year. This is the first time we're doing it publicly. It's exciting that Terry's capturing it on film because we've been sharing it over and over again for the design teams as we go to build properties. But what she's about to share was really impactful for the team as a whole, even all the way through stewards, dishwashing, everything.
So this is, we went through what revives your soul. I wanted our team to really look at what we're doing, how we're providing it, and what we're working on. And I said, listen, we just joined with a new marketing group, and this is what they asked us to put together so they could get to know us on a deeper level. And I said, it's important we share with the team. So what souls are we reviving? There's 3 souls we're trying to revive at all times. It starts with the property, but that's really only the foundation.
In the timeline, it starts with the property.
Next is the team. And by these cultures and us meetings and us coming together, there's countless stories I could tell you on how working together with this common mission revives the team and then revive the guest. So that's the natural outgrowth of a happy collaborative team. And what are our 3 virtues? And why we call them virtues because a virtue is something, like I mentioned before, that we're always trying to attain. We believe in hospitality, and this type of hospitality, these 3 things are essential, and everybody on the team has to always want them or be striving for them. Joy of service, humility, seeing everybody as the same infinite dignity and worth, and ministry, that all of our work is a gift. So we want everybody to serve you well and with a smile, but we're always challenging them that in our heart, as you're serving them, that you're truly loving that guest, because it's going to come through in that service. So we're challenging ourselves to do everything with ministry and intentionality. And this is just us explaining what I just said out. This is again for the group. So here's our pillars of programming. So Josh mentioned with the weddings, but all the other things aside of weddings, all the experiences of that whole Vintner Wonderland, all the little cookies and cocktails, everything we do, we have these pillars that help us to identify which direction we want to go in. And this is the heart of the heart.
We didn't make them up.
We didn't make them up. I went back to it and I said, I know there's a way to revive the soul that is deep, that is intentional, and that is tried and true. And sure enough, there's something called the transcendentals. Anybody hear that word before? The transcendentals? They've been around for 2,000 years.
Well, since the dawn of time.
They've existed.
But the philosophers,
Plato, Aristotle, these guys, they've been talking about this, that when these three elements exist, they're called transcendentals because they take somebody from one place and can transcend them to another place. And so these are our pillars of programming that have been around for 2,000 years that we've adopted, and they are the heart of Viva May. They have to include truth, beauty, and goodness. So truth means that we're always going to have educational things that are reviving the mind, that are engaging people, that are teaching them how winemaking, all the history of Renault, all these kinds of things. Truth, reviving the mind. Beauty, that everything we make is foundationally beautiful. The smells, the looks, the feels, it's enwrapping the full person. And then goodness, that they're fundamentally of good nature. You can keep going. This is ministry. These are the elements that we have decided that are truly truth, beauty, and goodness lived out, and they can go across all the properties. We are so blessed. All of our properties have incredible opportunities. Between 4 properties, we have 1,000 acres. 2 of them are on huge amounts of waterfront. 2 of them have golf courses. 2 of them have wineries. So there's incredible opportunity to live these pillars of programming out in these ways. So, of course, agriculture, we're actually just put in a farm to fork garden right across the street. We're really excited coming this spring. All of our culinary experiences, our tasting experiences, we can fly through these. All the seasonal events, history, all of our properties have incredible history, inviting people into that and getting them immersed into where they're at and that they chose a fantastic place to spend their time. All of our tours, artisan makers, which you saw Josh talking about the wreath making last night. Our filter for our artisan makers is things made with human hands. If somebody can love it, just like Louis Renault built this winery with his human hands 160 years ago. He was the first maker in this area. We want makers that love their craft and make things with their primordial experiences, which all of our properties can have. As you got the fire, the water, the land, adventure, wellness. We have a spa coming. So they're always community building. You saw the 1,200 people here last night, 1,400 people last night. And I was just talking to a couple back here, it's a new couple, and they said, it's so great that you can be at a winery with a family. It's really important to me. Obviously, with 10 kids, I know it's important for families to be able to be together so that we always make that. And this is explaining more about things made with human hands and how important that is. I love to meet the makers in the local areas down at Bohemia, where there's already a celebrity chef that's joining us and doing this whole 12-month series right in our kitchen there. I just love that. And so this is new. We were showing it to the marketing team. Our wine club is now changing over to the Viva May Legacy Club, because when you're part of this, you've been part of something for 160 years. So this is just new that we're showing. Again, for marketing, this is examples of newsletters we want to send out, our color palettes, the seasonal imagery. These are just, of course, marketing things that we want to explain to them, which I thought would be great for you guys.
And we have a demonstration. Are we going to do our demonstration?
So all of that, I'm going to boil down. This is a new thing. This is brand new. We're getting on video. Our team has seen it, but I haven't shown it to investors or anything yet. This, I think, finally, I had a light bulb moment that conceptualized how to explain Viva May Hospitality and what it's doing and how it works. And I call it the snow globe. So this is
Oh, hold on, Melanie. I know what we forgot.
Oh, sorry.
I forgot to let you do these last two
I'm sorry. We finish out our meeting by, but this is us talking about how do we revive souls. We always do this section of the meeting where we talked about moments in ministry, and our team gets up and they raise their hand, they all stand up and they call a teammate out that they saw, or someone who helped a guest, or some crisis that was averted because we, worked together as a team. So this is really fun. This is really builds up, it encourages us. It's like a pep rally.
Melanie came up with a great visual that summarizes all those things of pillars and souls and Viva May and all the cultural things she's working on. And
Here, I'm going to draw it for you. Ready?
yeah, I actually already drew it. There it is. Done. Just kidding.
There you go. Done.
Just kidding. Done. No, I'm kidding. Let's go. We got to see. Now you can flip over. Terry's awesome, man. Paul, he's on it, man. Terry's on it.
Leave it here.
All right, so all those fancy words I just mentioned, joy, humility, ministry, truth, freaky, goodness, all of these things.
And it finally came to me how to pull this together to explain it to our team. And now it's taking off. And so this is what Viva May is doing in the world, and why it's going to transform, why it already is transforming the culture. And what I call it is our snow globe. So
Hold this while you write.
Okay.
And I'll try to make background music. Paul, if you want to drawing music, please.
But Paul should spirit.
All right, so we'll take it easy, right? We're one by one. So the glass. Everyone's like, oh, it's a glass globe. Great. The glass represents Viva May hospitality. And what I mean by that, and this is what I explained to our guests too, our teammates. When a guest comes onto our property, we want them to enter into our bubble. We're creating a bubble intentionally. What it means is leave the world behind, leave all your cares behind, leave your thoughts behind, come into our place where we are controlling the culture. So this is Viva May hospitality. This is the environment we're in. Of course, this one I'm going to draw Renault. We've got the cool tower that Noelle built. By the way, anybody who knows Noelle, she had a baby boy, which is very exciting. I can't wait till she's back, but I love her baby boy. These are our vines. This is our hotel. So this is Renault. I do a globe for each one of our properties. You come onto our property, you are in Viva May hospitality now. Always in a snow globe, what is there always present? Snow. I don't have a blue marker, so I'm gonna go pink. I'll make some noises. All right, so the snow falling down. What's interesting about snow is in a snow globe, if you do not shake it and you set it down, what happens to the snow? It sits on the bottom. It's stagnant. So I say to our team, the snow represents our three virtues: joy, humility, ministry. We have to always be shaking it, so they're always falling down. As soon as we stop, it stops. We're stagnant. But if we're shaking it all the time and we're constantly conscious that we are executing with joy, humility, ministry at all times, the snow is always falling. Those are our virtues falling down all the time. So these represent joy, humility, ministry. Sorry, I'm writing really tiny for you. So that is constantly falling down. That's creating that culture. And you're in our nice little world here. Now, last, what is the foundation upon all of this, all of it, what it stands on? These are the 2,000-year-old transcendentals. So everything is rooted on truth, beauty, and goodness. That is the foundation. If these elements exist, and it's already exists here, this is how culture has changed. This is how teammates' lives are changed. This is how guests come here and feel like there's something different and there's something great happening here. It's because these elements are existing within this economy of a snow globe, and that is the secret sauce of Viva May, and this is why we know we're meant to spread it. Snow globes all over the country. It's definitely down the I-95 corridor, but this is where
All right, so
this is where we know that this has impact, and this has, like Josh said, the secret sauce.
and then Sure. And just to wrap up, so you see, I know this is a little practical, but after that great demonstration and understanding, trying to create more visuals, we don't all learn the same way. Then we just bring back, we always say, guys, we're in this room because the who matter more than all the physical work we've been doing. But we're only here for one reason. There's a deep why. We also have a teaching where we give our teammates, we say, great news, you're called a teammate, not because it's a cheeky word we read about in a magazine. It's because there are no bench warmers here. If you're here wearing a fancy uniform with a name tag, you're a starter. Therefore, we are counting on you to score. So we say that's why we're here. We are starters trying to love on the guests. Then we do an exercise called what, which is how do we get better at our job? So it could be conceptual like that, or it could be language skills, body language skills. We teach them how to read body language, how to be anticipatory service. But we always do some kind of demonstration of what. And then this is a side you guys are going to love to see. Then we end every training with what's going on property in the next week or two. And then we run through it so that they're all knowledgeable enough, the hundreds and hundreds of them, to at least answer what's going on property. And this is what that's actually a 1-week playbook, which just has tons and tons of things going on. We don't expect them to memorize it. We basically expect them to know that they have to go get the answer. But at least they're aware that we have a lot of things going on every day.
So we end it always with thank you to our team. A funny picture. This was right before Thanksgiving, and we appreciate you. And so we feel the same to you. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. You've all been Viva May trained.
That's right.